are the mysterious statues of Easter Island, and we have no earthly idea what their meaning is. Have you ever walked into a museum and wondered, how did this stuff get here? Or what is this stuff for? Archaeology explains some of your questions. In archaeology, there are three basic terms you need to know: archaeology, archaeologists, and artifacts. Archaeology is the study and science of old objects, and archaeologists are the people who study old objects, and artifacts are the old objects that the archaeologists study. The first thing that an archaeologist has to do is they have to find a site. They do this by looking at maps or in books or stories or myths to find the most likely place to have a site where you can find artifacts. When they set up, they stretch strings over the site, like in this picture, and they make a grid pattern. When they find an artifact, they mark it on a chart with a dot, and then they measure how far it is from the closest string, and then they write it down. And this all happens before removing it from the ground. Archaeologists have very complicated tools. A notepad, cartwheel, a trowel, a hand shovel, a toothbrush, string, and a paintbrush. The milk carton is used for collecting the excess dirt so that they can have it sifted and make sure that they didn't forget any small pieces. The trowel and the hand shovel are used for digging around the artifacts to remove all the excess dirt. The paintbrush is used to remove the dirt from around the artifact. The toothbrush is used for cleaning, and the string is used for the grid pattern. The boy in this picture is using a paintbrush to remove the dirt from around an artifact. The girl is using a trowel to dig around the artifact and the milk carton. This is a dig in progress. Be careful to remove the dirt from around the edges of the artifact to make sure that they don't damage it. Strata are different layers in the earth when they start with the youngest artifacts on the top and the oldest artifacts on the bottom. And that's because they build up on each other. These show some of the different layers of strata and the different colors. This shows how they become fossilized, and it starts with topsoil and leaves and then turns into clay or sand or gravel or something like that, and that keeps it safe. Archaeology is still important today. It is, if you didn't have archaeology, you wouldn't have museums, and you wouldn't know as much about yourself or your ancestors. And you also wouldn't have as much history. Without in archaeology, even the smallest piece of shell or bone is important. If you had a piece of sharpened bone, you could tell that either they hunted with bows and arrows or spears. And a shell could mean, an oyster shell could mean they ate oysters or they lived by the sea. A piece of petrified wood could mean they lived in a forest. And many different things like that. When they remove the pot from the ground, they carefully remove the dirt, and then they wash it with the toothbrush. And then they glue it together. In this box, I've got an Indian arrowhead that's over 1,000 years old, a pot that I pieced together myself, it's a replica, a shell fossilized, and another arrowhead. And I'd like to pass it out. When they clean the sides, they analyze it. And they send it to a lab to be analyzed. And then when they analyze it, they stick it in a box and tell what time period it was in, and what its importance is, and what it is. I studied archaeology because one day I hoped to be an archaeologist. But archaeology takes a lot of patience and hard work. I learned that after I did my pilot program. And I hope that you have